spy action comedy directed by Matthew Vaughn. This one starring Henry Cavill, Bryce Dallas Howard, Sam Rockwell, Bryan Cranston, Samuel L. Jackson, Catherine O'Hara. Yeah, really big cast. In this movie, Bryce Dallas Howard plays this author named Ellie Conway. She's known for writing a series of spy books based on this character, Argylle, that she created, who's played by Henry Cavill. What she realizes, however, is the stories that she writes ends up coming true for the actual real-life spy world, and now this evil spy agency is coming at her to basically tell the future of what they can accomplish, while Sam Rockwell, another spy, has been sent to protect her. Matthew Vaughn is one of those guys that when he knows what he's doing, he absolutely crushes it with the movies that he makes. And I was really interested in seeing him go back into the spy genre. Kingsman: The Secret Service, I think, is the best movie he's ever made. It was a very unique take on the spy genre. It had great action, it was funny, great characters, it was a very refreshing take for the spy genre beyond James Bond. And when I saw the trailer for Argylle and I saw the cast that was behind it, it was easily one of my most anticipated movies of the year. And as far as things go to like about this movie, I do think the cast, for the most part, does a good job here. Bryce Dallas Howard, I thought, did a really good job playing her character. I mean, she's this author, she just writes these spy novels, she has no idea what's going on. In the beginning, she clearly seems like a fish out of water. I mean, she has all these people coming after her. She has all this ridiculous espionage shit going on around her, and she's supposed to help out in the ways that only she knows how to. Sam Rockwell I also really appreciate in this movie. I mean, he has that charisma and that humor that's really great for a movie like this. His timing was great. I thought he crushed it in the action scenes, and he was just a very likable character. Also, is the action of this movie fun? Yes. Is there a Matthew Vaughn flair to it? Absolutely. Like, if you've seen any of the Kingsman movies, there are definite scenes in here that'll give you moments that remind you of Kingsman and make you go, okay, that's Matthew Vaughn style for sure. There are a couple action scenes, one in particular towards the very end, that I actually had fun with. I mean, yeah, it's a little ridiculous and over the top, but that is how Matthew Vaughn works. Getting to some of the more negatives with this movie, I will say this much right now. Henry Cavill is marketed in the trailers and on the poster as being like the main character of the story. I'm gonna tell you right now, he's not. I mean, honestly, he's maybe in the movie for a grand total of somewhere between 5 and 10 minutes. So if you were going in here expecting the Henry Cavill show, you will be wildly disappointed with that. Another area where I have some give and take with this movie is a very convoluted movie. It throws a lot of different twists and turns in your direction. It tries to do a bunch of different things with different characters. The problem is they throw so many twists and turns throughout this fucking movie that it just gets a little overwhelming. Well, not even overwhelming, I guess is the word I should say. More so in the sense that it just gets overabundant. Like, the first couple of twists you get in this movie, you actually understand them. They were good for the story. They kind of left you with a holy shit kind of moment because you weren't expecting it. A couple of twists they do with certain characters I actually really enjoyed. I was like, oh, that makes sense. That's good for the story. That I could expect that there, and that works. But then they kind of just keep going with it to the point where certain things happen to certain characters and the story takes certain turns that, because all the movie has been doing is throwing you with all these different twists, turns, and schemes, you kind of just sit there just expecting the unexpected at this point. Like, yeah, the first couple twists were fun, but now that you keep throwing them at me, I just kind of know not to trust anything in this movie. So as a result, when things are maybe meant to be more intense, you're maybe supposed to be more fearful for characters' lives, you're not really, because you've just learned not to trust the movie at this point. Also, I'm gonna tell you right now, is the movie cheesy? Yeah, it absolutely is. Somehow I alluded to earlier where some of the action in this movie is a little bit over the top. Well, some of the cheese is very over the top as well. There's that scene you briefly see in the trailer with like the psychedelic cloud smoke going on. That scene, it's entertaining, but it also gets pretty fucking corny. They just turn into this whole like dance action scene that just feels completely ridiculous, and you understand, throughout that scene, they're probably mostly playing for laughs, but I wasn't really laughing at it. I think that's kind of the issue right here. A lot of the comedy that's in this movie doesn't hit to the level that you know Matthew Vaughn humor is capable of hitting, because that's the thing we've noticed. Matthew Vaughn movies are typically very funny. The Kick-Ass movies were really funny. Kingsman: The Secret Service had some moments that were great. This one, when it came to the humor-wise, it kind of just left me underwhelmed. So much so to the point where I kind of feel like I was doing the forced laughter thing, like the forced chuckles, because, you know, I think it's a moment where I'm like, I'm rooting for this movie, I want it to be good, so you kind of just feel bad for it. I guess that's the little shrivel of heart and decency that's still left in me. I'm just like, I know you're trying, so You get that from me. Also, gonna tell you right now, visually, this movie does not look the best. Namely with the CGI, I gotta tell you, like, there are moments where the CGI is tolerable, and then there are moments where you look at it and you're just like, this is 100% on a fucking green screen. I mean, whether it's chase scenes or explosions or gun sequences, I'm sitting here and I'm looking at that and I'm just like, didn't this movie have like a $200 million budget? Where did it go to? It's like movies like this are gonna make you believe that a visual effects designer strike or whatever you want to fucking call it, like that's underway. Or it's happening right now because I'm seeing movies like this just look the way they are. Jeez, I didn't really think of that. God willing, that doesn't happen. I don't want any more strikes. I'm sick of my fucking shit getting delayed. So all in all, Argylle, it has its moments, but I was also hoping for a lot more. The cast for the most part does well. Sam Rockwell, Bryce Dallas Howard, they're easily the two standouts. Has a couple of fun action scenes. I can appreciate what the story was going for. That being said, the movie threw way too many twists and turns in my face that just made the movie way too convoluted and just way too over the top and made me not believe or trust anything that happened. Visually speaking, the movie's almost a complete mess with its CGI. It really wasn't as funny as it was trying to be. And in the end, I was really hoping this could be a hit for Matthew Vaughn. It wasn't quite that. It does kind of hint at a franchise towards the end of the movie. I will say, I'm not against the idea of a franchise for this movie, but if it's going to be one, Matthew Vaughn really needs to go back to what worked in Kingsman: The Secret Service, because that's going to be the key to him making the great spy movies that I know he wants to make. So that's all I gotta say, guys. Thank you so much for watching my video, and as always, don't forget to leave a comment, like, subscribe, and I'll see you all next time.